Who's ready to learn how to systematically dismantle the Sicilian defense? This is going to be a lifetime repertoire video series on taking down one of the sharpest openings in chess. That is the Sicilian. No more beating around the bush. Sometimes I show a line, a game with that line, but it's all scattered. How is anybody going to find that? How is anybody going to study it and learn it incrementally? This is going to be an organized approach. Today's going to be the intro video. I'm going to be showing 6 of the main ideas, main lines. We're not going to be going into depth because it's an intro video. And every day I'm going to make a new video on a new line, put it all into a playlist so it's all organized. Then when the series is complete, I'm going to show winning games and losing games in each line. So it's going to end up being like a 15 video course. I know they have different lifetime repertoires. Sometimes people are hard to understand. I don't think I'm hard to understand. And I'm very confident with my Grand Prix. Not to be cocky, but I could take down just about anybody. I'm going to share everything I know about it. So by the end of the series, realistically, you guys should be able to beat anybody too. Let's get into the lines. So what is the Grand Prix? The Grand Prix is a subset of the closed Sicilian. What is the closed Sicilian? It's 2 knight c3. Much better in my opinion than 2 knight f3. Knight f3 plays for d4, rather knight c3 plays for f4. So you're allowing them control of d4, but you get f4, which gives you nice rook lifts, nice kingside attacks. We're going to get into all of that during the videos. But first, we're going to look at the main line. The main line is first knight c6. So whenever you see the move knight c6, you have a light bulb in your head. The light bulb tells you to go bishop to b5 eventually, because the main goal is to get rid of the queenside knight in the Sicilian. Hopefully damage their structure, sometimes not. Sometimes the knight won't even come to c6, and we'll discuss what to do then. So f4 g6, right? They love this dark squared fianchetto, and bishop to b5. This is the main line. Now, what's black going to do? Is they going to let you damage the structure? We're going to go over that. Are they going to not allow you to damage the structure and go knight d4? And then what do? We're going to end this line here with castling, and I'm just going to explain where we're going to go from here. Either they're going to go a6 and you're going to slide back to d3. That's right, not c4, d3. And the point is you're going to meet them in the center when they play for b5. Maybe they're going to take and you're going to take. Then do you move your knight back right away, or do you wait for them to play a6? And what happens if they go d5? That's what we're going to delve into. Now it's going to be line 2. This is if black plays for a central push early on. So we're going to go e6, knight c6. And we'll discuss all the a6 stuff stopping bishop to b5. But right, once you see knight c6, light bulb, bishop to b5. Even if they go for the center. Now, it branches out here. Right, if they take on e4, we're going to stop here. But if they take on e4, you take, damaging their pawn structure, doubling their pawns. What else could they do? They can push. You would throw in the switch of damaging their structure when you could. And then there's the new line, knight e2, or the old line, knight b1. I typically like knight b1, claiming the outpost on c4 after they extend. Now, what about if they go knight ge7 is very interesting. I love this queen e2 move. There's a lot of stuff where they cannot capture because they end up losing this pawn due to the pin. Furthermore, if pawn to d4, it allows you to route the knight to d1 and f2, where you can expand with g4. You see, so this is going to be a tricky line for black, not for white. Not for white at all. Very easy line for white. And keep in mind, they can never go bishop to d7 because that just loses a pawn. So that's what we're going to delve into on one of the days. Now it's if black plays passively and does not control the center. Something like this. d6, okay, d6, there's no knight c6, so there's no bishop to b5 light bulb. Rather, we're going to park the bishop on e2. I'll show the comfortable, safe approach you can play with g3, bishop g2 as well. I love bishop e2 though, so I'm going to pitch this first. So when they see this light squared bishop move to e2, they're like, all right, I can safely put my knight on c6, white castles, and you see they're not claiming the center so much. And when they don't claim the center, you play like this, just all the normal moves, trying to route over to the king side, get some good king side attacks. There's going to be some great games to look at from there. Now you might be like, why would we put this bishop on e2? Balkan's at, why do you like this? Well, I'll try to explain why I like it. The main reason is when they go knight d4, you never want to take this knight, because then it's very hard to guard this c pawn later on. So the point of this bishop on e2 is to actually go bishop to d1. Now this knight is here, you can dismantle it by going knight to e2. Either they're going to take and you take with the bishop, or you could take with the rook sometimes in rook lift. Knight e2. Sometimes when they take, I even like to take with the queen, and then I like to go c3, bishop to b3, poking and prodding at the weak point on e6 after they can castle. You envision that. So that's going to be another one of the lines we're going to delve into. And this line is for if you had a hard day, you want to blow off some steam, you just want to like run into a wall. You know, sometimes it's fun to just run into a wall. So a6, the O'Kelly. When people play the O'Kelly, it's like, are you really stopping bishop to b5? Like, do you really care that much to play a6? So I view these people as extra passive. And what do you do against extra passive people? You play extra aggressive. So we're going to be looking into the freak attack, I like to call it, with g4 and how this plays out. You know, knight f6, g5 type of stuff. They probably planned on castling kingside. Are they going to? You are. You're going to. Because remember, we like running into walls. This line is for blowing off some steam. So there's that one. Now there's some interesting retreating ideas. So knight to c6, light bulb, bishop to b5. Either you're going to double their pawns and be very, very happy, or they're going to go bishop to d7. And one very interesting line I learned here is the move bishop to c4. It looks quite questionable, but the point is they cannot build up on d5 because of this bishop on d7. So you don't go bishop c4 immediately. You wait for them to put their bishop on d7, and then since you're not doubling them up, you go back to c4, and then it makes this f5 break very, very clean, and their king is getting stuck in the center because you're so ahead in development, right? They opted to develop their queen side. You opted to develop your king side. So you're going to be able to break with f5 very early on and sometimes catch them in the center. So this retreating idea is very interesting in this line. Now, this is the safe approach. You know, it's not fun to play the same lines every time. So let's say you get bored and you want to switch it up. Or maybe you're playing someone in a tournament that you've played many, many times and you want to switch it up. This is kind of the safe way. You give up on the bishop to b5 idea. You don't go g4 because you don't need to blow off some steam. It wasn't such a bad day. And you go for bishop g2 and you get this position. Completely flexible. From here, there's many ways to play it. There's queen e1, b3, bishop b2. There's queen e1, h3, g4. But the main idea is you're routing this queen over to the king side to attack them. How are we going to deal with this knight? We'll figure it out. So these are the 6, I think, main core ideas, main lines. But we're going to delve into the intricacies. As you guys know, it's chess. There's many branches. And I know openings are not fun, but I believe they can be made sort of fun. And this is not overwhelming. I promise you, I'm not about overwhelming openings. So I believe if you learn this, facing the Sicilian will be a fun time. Thank you guys always for watching the intro video. Well, for watching all my videos, thank you. I'll see you tomorrow. Subscriber Friday. I will post the email down below. Send in your games. And then we will get going on days that are not Friday. Thank you. Peace. Boom.